Hey, Mom. Is now a good time? I just wanted to remind you that we're going to be at the Oritz's house around noon tomorrow. Do you want me to pick you up so that I could take you there?
Oh, I suppose it doesn't really matter either way. I'm more than happy to take my own car to their place.
Oh, come on. You know that you don't have to go and do something like that, Mom. I'm more than happy to give you a ride up there. It's not like you're worried about me driving, right?
Oh, Rick, don't be silly. Of course I'm not worried about your driving or anything like that at all. It's just been a while since I've been in a car where you've been the driver is all. I'm not worried so much as I might be a little nervous.
Well, there's nothing to be worried or anxious or nervous or trepid or anything like that about me driving you, Mom. I mean, if anything, I imagine people tend to be quite scared when you're the driver. But anyways, I was just thinking that it would be easier for everyone if you and I just went and left together, don't you think?
Yes, you might actually be right about that, Rick. By the way, that reminds me that I actually just got a message from Mr. Ortiz saying that he has a last-minute meeting and that he's going to be a little bit late arriving tomorrow.
Oh, I see. Okay then. Guess that just means that we're going to be meeting Maria's mother tomorrow then, I guess. By the way, Mom, you do know about Maria's mother, right? I wonder what she knows about you. I hope this all goes well.
I imagine that she might not actually know much about me at all, but I guess we don't know until we talk to her.
But what if she doesn't know about you? I mean, what if her husband just never told her? I don't know. Isn't that something that a husband would probably tell his wife?
I think that after you get married and have kids, that what is considered normal really starts to go out the window. But anyways, you're going to be getting married soon yourself, so I guess you'll find out about what I mean soon enough.
Right. I guess I'll do my best to learn all I can then.
And of course, I'm just so happy that things are going so well with Maria that you've decided that you want to marry her. But I do have to say that I was just a little bit surprised to hear about how fast this all happened. I mean, are you really sure that this is the woman you want to spend your life with?
Well, if I can be honest with you, Mom, I am getting just a little nervous. There are a few things on my mind.
A few things on your mind? What are you talking about? What's bothering you, son?
Well, it's just that when I mentioned to Maria's mom that you were the only parent I had around when I was growing up, you know, because you were a single mother and all, well, it's like her attitude completely changed.
Her attitude? What do you mean by that? How did she change when she heard about that?
So, like, at first, Maria's mom, Carla, was really excited to meet you, and she would talk all the time about when she finally would, and how excited she was to get to know you better. But then, as soon as I mentioned that you were the only parent that I had, she basically stopped talking about how excited she was to meet you and all of that. In fact, after I told her that I was raised by a single mom, she asked if I had any reason to ever even go back to see you at home.
Oh, I see. So you're saying that you think Maria's mom might have something against single-parent families or something like that, then? Well, I guess I'll find out for myself just what kind of woman she is tomorrow when we all meet. And I suppose if there are still things that need to be discussed or talked about, then we can cross that bridge when we get to it.
I know, but I was so shocked that she even said that. I just hope that tomorrow when we've all finally met each other that nobody has anything rude to say to anyone else. I would just really hate for the meeting to turn really tense and awkward, and well, you know how much I hate scenarios like that.
Of course, Rick, but I'm sure that everything is going to be just fine. I mean, maybe it really doesn't have any deeper meaning and she was just speaking to speak. I really don't know and don't want to assume what she might have been thinking, but maybe she was asking about if you would have come to visit because she was worried about how busy I might be. I suppose it might still be too early to just assume that she has something against single mothers, right?
You're right, Mom. We shouldn't be so fast to judge, and maybe I'm just getting myself all worked up over nothing. But it's just what seemed to make the most sense to me at the time.
I see. Well, if that's the case, then I really don't think that there's anything to worry about. And I think that you and I should just look forward to meeting Maria and her family tomorrow. Oh no, oh, please don't tell me that you've already gone home. Now why would you go and do something like that? I mean, you came all the way here, and you didn't even have a chance to sit down and relax, and now you're already heading back home? I certainly hope that everything is okay. This is Carla, Maria's mom, isn't it? I really don't know why you're texting me like this after what you pulled. I mean, what was that all about just now? I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I can certainly tell you that I had no idea that you raised your son as a single mother. And once I did actually learn that, I realized that someone like you has no place in this family at all. Did you figure that out too? Is that why you left without me having to ask? I left because you didn't even have a seat arranged for me. It's not like you didn't know that I was going to be coming here with my son. If you know that 2 guests were coming to your house and one of them was the mother of the man your daughter was going to marry, wouldn't you arrange to have a seat for her? Instead, you just said so many horrible things about my being a single parent and demanding that I stand since I wasn't good enough to sit. I actually couldn't believe that you said that to me. I mean, I don't think I've ever had anyone talk to me like that before. Oh my, I'm quite sure that there has to be some kind of mistake here. After all, I never said any of that at all. I really wish that I was making a mistake here, but I know what I heard, and what's more, I don't know what other meaning your words could have had. Well, I don't know why you're so upset about this. After all, even my daughter Maria was agreeing with what I had to say about you. Did Maria really agree with what you were saying? Does that mean that both you and Maria have just been looking down on me this whole time? Of course we look down on you. That's what you do to people who are so far down the food chain from you. After all, you must know that my husband works for a company and earns a nice salary. Thanks to his hard work, my little Maria has never had to know what it's like not to get her way when she wants something. But you had to raise your poor little son all by yourself, isn't that right? You know what they say about sons raised in single-mother households, don't you? I mean, who knows how Rick is really going to turn out? I surely hope you can understand how, coming from a family like mine, that a single parent can only come as one of the most pathetic people in existence. You're saying that my whole existence is pathetic? I'm sorry, but I would like to know just why you think me being a single parent necessitates any of that. Oh, really? You mean you want to continue what I was saying to you before you left? Well, I would be more than happy if you would just return here. Of course, if you do come back here, I'm still not going to give a lowlife like you a chair to sit in. I stand by what I said about people like you needing to stand. So you mean that instead of trying to apologize, you're just going to double down? Are you really sure that you want to do this to me? I mean, do you really think that you're going to get away with this? What in the world are you talking about? Is that all you have to say to me? Is that supposed to be some kind of threat or something? I know that you can't do anything to me at all. The fact of the matter is that you and I are completely different levels, and that a woman like you couldn't do anything to affect me even if she tried. And you just won't stop with all of the name-calling either. Do you really not see how you're being very rude right now? After all, this is the first time that we're even meeting. I don't think I could ever talk to someone who I just met the way that you're talking to me. But am I to take the way that you're talking to me and treating me as a reflection of how you feel about our children getting married? Don't be ridiculous, you silly woman. Of course this has nothing to do at all with our children getting married. Sorry, what do you mean by that? You're saying that your feelings for me and the marriage are completely separate? Of course. Why in the world would I be against an upstanding young man like Rick marrying my daughter Maria? I think they would make a wonderful couple together. After all, Rick works a good job and earns a good salary, so I know that he's able to provide for Maria. The only problem here, the only thing that I'd like to get rid of, is you. So you're saying that you basically just want me to hand over my son to your family and just disappear from the picture entirely? Well, I'm glad that you put it that way. Seems like we're finally getting closer to being on the same page now. And you should know that there won't be a seat for you at their wedding either. I can guarantee you that. Please, this is just getting silly. Are you being serious? You're going to try and keep me from going to my own son's wedding? Of course I'm serious. What about any of this makes you think that I'm not? I'm deadly serious about getting you out of the picture. I see. Well, I guess if you're going to act this way, then I know what I need to do. But I'm just going to warn you now that you probably should have waited for your husband to get back home before you started treating me the way that you were. Oh, please, what does my husband have to do with this at all? You think that he would have come to your defense? A nobody like you has nothing to do with my husband at all. Well, either way, I am certainly not going to be returning to your home to receive more of that. So thank you for your time today, and goodbye. Now, hold on just a second. I still need to make sure that after our children get married that you're going to stay out of Rick's life forever. I mean, haven't you figured out at this point that you're only weighing him down from what he could really be? I think that an old woman like you needs to learn her place and get lost. After all, I can't think of a single family that would agree to let their child marry the child of a single parent and still want to keep that parent around. There's a reason why I didn't arrange a seat for you, and it's because you're not wanted or needed here.
Don't you realize what you've done? You've just condemned our whole family, Carla.
Our family? What are you talking about now? Have you gone crazy or something?
No, you silly woman. It's me, Pedro. I'm on my way home right now, so you just wait at home for us to talk, okay?
Wait, what? Pedro? Is that really you? Why in the world are you with Tammy right now? Oh, your husband was in quite the rush, so he only had a short time to write you some messages. Anyways, I actually just bumped into him outside of the house and was explaining to him a bit about what happened between us. And I made sure to show him all of the messages that you had been sending to me this whole time as well. Wait, what? I still don't understand what's going on here. What do you mean you talked to him outside of the office? Are you talking about his office? Why do you know where my husband works? I'm sorry, but now that I've heard that even my son has given up on trying to hang in there with you all and is going home, I really don't think that there's any more need for us to talk to each other. But thank goodness, I am really so happy that we dodged this bullet. I mean, having my son marry your daughter and having to deal with you would be just terrible. So I can happily say goodbye and please never ever bother me again. Just wait. I'm so confused. What's going on right now? Please, you have to explain what's happening. What are you talking about? Why should I have to wait? What am I waiting for? I don't really see what else you and I even have to talk about at this point. I mean, after your husband heard about the way that you were treating me, he completely freaked out. He apologized profusely to me for the way that you were behaving, and I think that this really isn't my problem anymore. If anything, you're going to have to deal with it at home once your husband is back for the day. So then, Pedro really knows all about what I was saying to you? You really told him everything? How do you even know my husband? What is going on here? Well, I know where he works at least. Do I really need to go into any more detail than that? Wait, just one second. I just got a message from Pedro. Oh, he's telling me that you're the president of the company where he works? Is that really true? How could this be? That can't be right at all. I'm sure that you think it can't be possible that someone like me could be a company president, let alone for the company that your husband works for. But these days, there are many kinds of people who are taking leadership roles in the corporate world. I don't really see why my position should be all that shocking at all. Besides, are you telling me that you don't even believe what your own husband is trying to tell you about me? Oh, it's just that, well, I mean, you're a single mother. How could someone like you climb so high up the corporate ladder? Oh, this doesn't make any sense to me at all. You're supposed to be poor and stupid, and the poor and the stupid aren't meant to lead companies, especially not the one that my husband works for. I'm sorry, but I think the only one here who firmly believes something like that is you, Carla. And I suppose that you based your treatment of me on all of these assumptions of yours as well. But the truth is that you really don't know anything at all, do you? But, this isn't fair. How was I supposed to know that you were my husband's boss? Nobody ever told me about this. Oh yes, I can certainly see that you had no idea of who I am at all now. But is that supposed to be my fault? After all, it's your husband who works for me. Don't you two ever talk to each other at all? Excuse me, how dare you question how my husband and I communicate? You don't know what you're talking about at all. Are you really sure about that? Because I think that I can probably take a couple of educated guesses at the very least. After all, it seems to me like you two don't actually communicate when it comes to important details like this. And because you two don't communicate with each other, you had no idea that not only was the mother of your daughter's fiancé coming to visit, but that I was also your husband's boss. I mean, I just don't understand how you actually had no idea who I am. But Oh, nobody told me anything. This isn't my fault. I just thought that you were the mother of my daughter's fiancé, and that's it. Well, I'm not sure that this all has to fall on you and your husband, you know. After all, it sounds to me like your daughter shares some of your own biases, and she might have been giving you bad information as well. And I suppose you heard all that, and you just took the word of what person had to say about me and assumed you knew the rest of my character. But, I mean, come on. There's no way that my daughter didn't know that she was dating the son of a company president. I mean, how could she not know about the mother of her own fiancé? But surely if she knew about you, then she would have told me from the very start, so maybe she didn't know after all. Yes, well, it seems like your husband was worrying about how he should best introduce me to you all. Although now I have to wonder why your husband didn't say anything sooner. Does anyone ever talk to each other at your house? I mean, I don't even know what to say to this at all. I'm just so confused as to what's going on right now. Although now I'm curious about how you've treated other people from work that your husband has brought home for you to meet. Of course I treated them very courteously. I would never want to disrespect someone that my husband was bringing home from work. I see. So then basically you were just treating me the way that you were treating me because of your assumptions about single mothers? And yet even though you knew that you weren't going to like me, you still arranged for this meeting just to snub me like this? I'm sorry, but I can't see how any rational adult would think that that's an appropriate way to act. I was only thinking about my daughter. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have someone who could hurt our family getting near us is all. I see. And you think that the way you were treating me was the best way to go about achieving that? I mean, I can understand making someone want to leave your house in a huff, but did you really think that by doing that we were going to convince my son to abandon me just to marry your daughter? I mean, well, I guess that's what I was hoping was going to happen, but now I don't even know. I see. Well, I'm afraid that my son just isn't that kind of person, and I'm afraid that he isn't going to be marrying anyone that would try and make him that person. I only thought that if my daughter ended up marrying your son and you were still going to be sticking around, that you might try and take advantage of my family is all. I thought that one day you might come around asking for money or someplace to live or something like that, and so I was only trying to prevent you from getting comfortable with us. Oh, trust me, you made me plenty uncomfortable. You don't need to worry about that. But I just have to tell you that after this little show, not just myself, but even my son is sick and tired of you. Both you and your daughter for the way that you were insulting me and making me feel unwelcome. I just wish that he never ended up meeting your daughter in the first place so that we didn't have to go through this whole song and dance. But, oh please, you can't do this to me. My husband is going to be furious with me for doing this. I just know it. I don't know what to do. Oh no, he just sent me a text saying he never even wants to talk to Maria or I again. Oh, please tell me that that's some kind of joke. I have no idea why you think I can answer that question for you at all. I mean, I'm not a part of your family, and that really isn't my business at all. Sounds to me like something that you need to work out between yourself and your husband, so please leave me out of your personal drama. But, you can't just pretend like you don't have a part in this. This whole thing is your fault, don't you see that? You shouldn't have gone to Pedro about all of this. What are you talking about? Your husband and I work together. I ran into him in the office. Why wouldn't I tell him about this? Because now you've gotten me into serious trouble. And just why is any of that my problem? If you've gotten into trouble just because people found out something that you've done, then you probably shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. But I'll also take this chance to tell you that the engagement between our children is officially off. Oh, please, you can't actually be serious about this, right? Oh, things were going so smoothly before this. Why are you ruining the love that our children have for each other? It was all supposed to go so smoothly from here on out, too. We were going to start talking wedding details and getting serious, and now you've gone and ruined everything. I'm sorry, but this is your own fault. If you hadn't shown your true character, then maybe my son and I would still be fooled by your fake personality. Fake personality? How can you say that about me? What is the matter with you? But more than anything else, I just feel bad for your daughter. I think that my son and her really had deep feelings for each other. But you had to brainwash her with your silly biases, and you made it so that she was just as unreasonable as you. Okay, now hold on just 1 second there. You can insult me all you want, but don't you bring my daughter into this. I wish that I didn't have to, but you brought her into this long before now. But anyways, I really don't have the time to waste on explaining all of this to you anymore. So I think that we're done here. I only hope that you never ever trouble anyone else in the same way that you've troubled me and my family. And so that's how my son ended up breaking off his engagement with his fiancée. Of course, he was crushed to learn the truth of the woman that he thought he was ready to marry. And I was so sad that my son had been so emotionally hurt by the experience. But later on, I heard from Pedro that when he got home, he was so upset with how his wife and daughter had treated me, his boss, that he demanded that they leave the house. Since then, I've heard that Pedro has begun divorce proceedings. After our conversation, Carla and Maria both began to blow up my phone and begged me to change my mind and talk to my son. But I ignored all that they had to say to me. I never wanted to see them again, let alone have to talk to them over the phone. And so in the end, Carla and Maria were left houseless and without a job. They became the very things that they had looked down on me for being. I suppose life is funny like that sometimes. As for Rick and I, my son has been spending more time than ever with me since he feels bad for how I was treated by his fiancée and her family. I told him not to worry about it and to just be a bit more careful choosing a partner in the future. I still see Pedro in the office when I go in. At first he was looking so tired and defeated. I talked to him and he said that he is seeking help and thinks that he'll be okay. I told him that my door is always open if he needs to talk, and that there will be a seat for him.
Hey, Minnie, I just got out of work. Is everything ready to go for the vacation tomorrow?
Hey, Greg. Yep, I have basically everything all ready to go. Although I guess it's not really a vacation, really.
Didn't you say your friend was having a wedding in Hawaii? I think you said the two of you graduated together.
Yeah, that's right. Seriously, though, it feels kind of weird going to a classmate's wedding. I mean, I already have a daughter in high school. Isn't that crazy?
Well, I don't know. We are in our late 30s. Nowadays, I'd guess that this sort of thing isn't too uncommon.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Come to think of it, a lot of the people coming to the wedding aren't married yet either. What even is the average age for the first marriage these days? Mid-30s?
Yeah, it's probably around there. You're gonna do some sightseeing after the wedding, right?
Yep, the plan is to be over there for 3 days. So I'll be home by early next week.
Hey, don't worry about it. Take your time. Relax and enjoy yourself. You've earned it.
Thanks, Greg. I can count on you to take care of the house while I'm gone, right? Oh, and if you could also keep an eye on Holly, that would be great. She's got a lot of studying to do, so could you maybe do a bit more of the housework, just to take the burden off of her?
Sure thing, will do. Oh yeah, am I gonna be able to contact you while you're in Hawaii? Just in case I need to get in touch with you for emergencies and the like.
Yeah, the hotel I'm staying at has Wi-Fi, so you should be fine. Plus, I checked with my carrier, and I get normal service in Hawaii.
Oh, really? I've never been out of the continental 48 states, so I had no idea how that would work.
Yeah, no worries. You'll be able to keep in touch with me.
Technology sure is something, huh? It's crazy to compare today to when we were kids.
Is there anything else you want to ask me right now?
Let me think. Nah, I think I'm all good for now. Go ahead and have fun for all three of us, okay?
Thanks, Greg. It's gonna be great. Oh, actually, I just remembered something. While I'm over there, it might take me longer than usual to respond to your texts.
You don't need to worry about that at all. Why'd you say that?
I'll have Wi-Fi in the hotel, so that shouldn't be a problem. But if I go outside, there's no guarantee that I'll have a very good connection. So it might take your messages longer to get to me, and mine will take longer to get back to you. Hopefully it won't be a problem.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm not planning on contacting you for anything much outside of emergencies anyway.
Thanks for being so understanding.
Okay, well, I'm about to head home. You're leaving first thing in the morning, right? You should probably go to bed early.
Yep, I was planning to. Thanks so much for taking care of so much for me while I'll be away. I really appreciate it. Hey, Greg, the wedding just ended. It was wonderful. The bride's dress was gorgeous, and you wouldn't believe the scenery here.
Sounds like you're having fun. I'm glad you're able to go.
Me too. Seriously, Greg, I don't know how to thank you for giving me the okay to come to this wedding.
You're always working so hard taking care of the house, and Holly, it's the least I can do to thank you. You're going sightseeing tomorrow, right? Don't worry about a thing. We're doing totally fine over here. You go out and enjoy yourself.
I definitely will. There are a ton of places I want to go while I'm here. A few of my friends are going to come along with me, too. It's going to be great.
Just don't forget to get us a good souvenir, okay? Holly said that she wants something chocolate. And if you forget, she'll never forgive you.
I won't forget. I'm going to go to the store before I go back to the airport to get some souvenirs. Holly wants chocolate, then. Got it.
Thanks. Oh, by the way, I heard this from Holly today. Apparently there was a car accident near her school. What's scary is it was on the same road that Holly always walks down on her way to school.
Really? Wow, that's scary. There are a ton of small roads intersecting around there, and the stop signs and all that are really hard to see. I hear there are a lot of accidents there.
Yeah, that's exactly what Holly said. She was not all that surprised that there was an accident.
A while ago, she actually saw one happen in real time. Someone should do something about that area. Like, move the signs around, or remake some of the roads. Do something!
Man, remaking those roads would be a pretty big task. Though, I'd take her to school myself if I could. But I work so early in the morning, I can't. It's really concerning.
Well, she's been fine up until now, right? I'm sure she'll be fine. Holly's a high school student. She can take care of herself.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about her doing anything dangerous. But it's the other people on the road that I'm concerned about. I can't control what the drivers do.
Well, we don't really have any choice, do we? Her school is where it is. They can't move it. I know the school tells the students all the time to watch out for cars.
Yeah, but still. What am I doing? You're on vacation. I shouldn't be bothering you with this.
No, don't worry about it, Greg. She's our daughter. It's only natural we'd be concerned about her. I'm concerned about her just the same as you are. After I get back, I'll start driving her to school whenever I can.
I'm sorry to force that on you, but that would make me feel a lot better.
You're not forcing anything on me. I want to do it. Holly's my daughter too, like I said. Okay, well, we're about to eat, so is it okay if I take off here?
Yeah, go ahead. You take care of yourself too, Minnie.
Thanks, Greg. I'm pretty sure I'll be out of the hotel most of the day tomorrow, so I probably won't be able to respond to messages very much. I'll talk to you tomorrow evening, though.
Gotcha. Have fun, Minnie.
Greg, are you there? I just got a call from my mom. Is what she said true?
Oh, now you respond. I was trying to get a hold of you all day yesterday, but you didn't even read my messages. You're pretty late to the party.
I told you yesterday, didn't I? Anyway, this isn't the time for us to be arguing like this. I heard that Holly got taken to the hospital. What happened to her? Is she okay?
Holly's fine. Our relationship is another story altogether.
Holly's fine? Oh, thank goodness. Wait, what? What about our relationship?
Do I need to spell it out for you? We're through. Once you get back from your vacation, I'm divorcing you.
What? How can you say that at a time like this? If this is some kind of a joke, you are sick, Greg.
Oh, believe me, I really wish I were joking. Unfortunately, it's the truth. I'm dead serious.
What are you talking about? Why are you talking like this?
Are you asking me why? Think about it. I'm pretty sure you have a good idea why.
Greg, what have I ever done to get you to divorce me? I'm already terrified about what's going on with Holly. How can you divorce me at a time like this? Is Holly really okay?
Yeah, don't worry about her, she's fine. When she was taken to the hospital, they said she'd need an organ transplant. And since I couldn't do it, your dad stepped up and offered to do it.
An organ transplant? How serious was this accident? What even happened?
It's just like we talked about, that road to her school is super dangerous. A car ran off the road and was driving down the sidewalk.
Oh my god.
But that's not the only surprise. Tell me, why do you suppose I wasn't able to give Holly one of my organs, but your dad was? I told the doctor that he could take anything Holly needed from me, even my heart or lungs, but the doctor said no.
He did? But why?
Because I'm not Holly's real father. They did a test on me to see if my organs would be compatible with Holly, and the results showed that she's not my biological daughter. Holly is 16 years old, and I never had any idea that she wasn't mine. Care to explain?
That's not true!
What's not true? You were cheating on me and got pregnant with Holly. Isn't that true? You hid it from me all these years. Tell me, exactly what am I saying right now that isn't true? Well, nothing to say for yourself? I thought as much. If I were in your position right now, I don't know what I'd say either. You're scum, Minnie.
Hold on, calm down. It was a mistake. I'm sorry. It was only one time, and then I got pregnant with Holly. How could I tell you about that?
I'm done with you. I don't want to hear any of your excuses.
Greg, come on, please. Please, Greg, hear me out.
Holly's operation is about to start right now, so I'm not in the mood to listen to your pathetic excuses. For now, just get back here as soon as possible. We'll continue this conversation after Holly's operation is finished. Got it?
I would love nothing more than to be able to come home now, but this is all too sudden.
Daughter and father are having serious operations, Minnie. I don't care what you have to do to get back here right now. Just do it.
Hey, Greg, how's Holly? Is she doing any better?
Yeah, the surgery went perfectly, but that was several days ago. She's awake, alert, and looking pretty well, all things considered. If I didn't know any better, I'd say she looks like she was never even in an accident.
Wow, that's great to hear.
By the way, I had a little talk with Holly about you and what's going to happen here on out.
Hey, hold on just a second. Don't you think you're rushing things a bit too much? Think about Holly's condition. You shouldn't upset her like that.
Don't blame me. I wasn't planning to bring it up until she got out of the hospital. Holly was the one who asked me about it. She asked me if maybe I wasn't her real father.
What? She did? Why?
Because her real father came to the hospital to visit her. I guess he came while I was at work one day, and he's the one who told Holly about everything.
Oh no.
You said that it was a mistake. It was only once, right? But if that's true, that brings up a very big question. How did he know not only that Holly was in an accident, but even what hospital she was in and what her room number was?
How am I supposed to know? I'm telling the truth. It was only once. You have to believe me.
Oh yeah? He said that he heard about everything from you. What's more, he said he heard from you while you were on your vacation in Hawaii. So I'm afraid you're going to have to think up a new excuse for that one.
I'm sorry. The truth is, I was cheating on you after Holly was born, too.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I'd be more shocked to hear you admit that, but I guess nothing you do surprises me anymore.
But you have to believe just this one thing. You and Holly are the ones I really love, not him. He was just a fling. Our relationship was only ever physical. I have always been dedicated to our family.
Do you think you could say that with a straight face to Holly? After you've lied to us and betrayed us for all these years? Could you look at your daughter in the eyes and say that?
Well...
Yeah, that's what I thought. You coward. All your excuses and apologies to me have just been a sorry attempt to save face. You couldn't lie to me, you're used to that. But Holly, not a chance.
Hey, don't talk about me like I'm some monster. I love you. I've always loved you. Both you and Holly. You can't treat me like this.
If you really loved me, then why didn't you tell me the truth the moment you got pregnant with Holly?
How could I? I didn't want to hurt you.
It's been 16 years, Minnie. 16! 16 years have gone by since I became Holly's dad. Don't you get it? It hurts way more finding out after all this time than it would have if you were just honest with me from the beginning. I found out my daughter isn't my daughter while she was in the hospital on the operating table.
I'm sorry.
Next, let's talk about Holly. If you really loved Holly, then why didn't you divorce me and let her grow up with her real dad? Don't you think that would have been better for Holly?
Are you kidding? That guy's never held down a steady job. He can barely support himself, much less a wife and daughter.
Oh, I see. So he used me to raise his daughter for him. All the while not even thinking once about how much it would hurt Holly when she found out the truth. You don't love anyone but yourself. You don't love me or Holly. That's the only way you'd be able to do something as cold-blooded and cruel as what you did.
That's not true. I never meant for any of this to happen.
What's going on here? Do you think that everything would be fine if neither of us ever found out? Are you out of your mind? Holly and I aren't just some dolls that you can play house with. I'm not gonna let you use us like this.
So, you're really gonna divorce me?
Of course I am. We're completely disgusted with you, Minnie. We don't want to see you or your boyfriend's faces ever again.
Fine, then I'll take full custody of Holly. You're not her father anyway. I'll take care of her just fine with her real dad.
I'm not letting you or that guy get your filthy hands on Holly. Neither of you have any right to call yourself Holly's parents. I'll take care of her by myself.
But we're her real parents. You can't keep her from us.
Maybe I can't, but Holly can. She says she doesn't want anything to do with you. She says that I'm her only real parent.
What? I don't believe you.
Believe it or not, you're getting your just desserts for what you did to her. You messed up so bad that your daughter, who you've been with for 16 years, doesn't even want to speak to you anymore.
I don't care what she says. I'm her real mom, and I'm taking her to live with her real dad. I won't take no for an answer.
Aren't you forgetting something? She's 16. She can legally choose for herself now. So I'm sorry, but you have no choice but to accept no for an answer. Now get lost and never speak to us again.
But she's our daughter. How can you steal our daughter from us?
I told you, Holly is my daughter. And Holly feels the same way about me. So no, you're not Holly's parents. You can't think of anyone but yourselves, not even your own daughter. You're nothing but a lying, cheating, heartless, soulless scumbag. After that, Minnie and I got officially divorced. With the help of Minnie's parents, I was able to get hard evidence of her affair from her cell phone. I also sued her for infidelity. As for child support, since Holly's already 16 and she's refusing to see Minnie or her boyfriend, I decided not to demand it. I also sued Holly's biological father for his part in the affair. The jury considered the fact that he knowingly slept with a married woman, got her pregnant, and continued the relationship for almost 2 decades, and awarded me a colossal amount in damages. As a result, both Minnie and her boyfriend are in pretty dire financial straits. Neither of them have much in terms of employable skills, so I'm sure they'll be struggling for practically the rest of their lives because of this. Good. Serves them both right. Through all of this, Holly decided to stick with me of her own free will. We're currently living a nice and quiet lifestyle with just the two of us. Honestly, for a little while we were a bit unsure about how to continue our relationship, now that we know we're not actually biologically related. But in the end, that gives us a bond that goes much, much deeper than just simple genetics. So what we're not blood related? She still knows who her real father is. And I'm more committed than ever to be the best father that I can possibly be, and one that Holly can be truly proud of.